Being a father is not scary. The main thing you need is love, patience, and genius. Because I'm homeschooling this child. You guys will get to see me homeschool the child as well. You'll get to see him or her grow up into a genius. My goal is I'm going to put my child through homeschool at an accelerated rate. I'm going to teach my child how to read, write, start businesses, everything, all skills, sewing, robotics, woodworking, plastic working, metalworking, welding, as an infant, or at least toddler. I'm going to make this kid amazing. And I'm going to make my children graduate from college with a bachelor's degree, all from home, on a computer. I'll give them a laptop, and they'll graduate from college on this laptop while sitting right next to me by the age of like 14 or 15. And hopefully they'll be running a Fortune 500 company by the age of like 20. Otherwise, they're underachieving. With my guidance, my kids will be unbelievable. Now, I don't even think I want them as employees. I'd rather have them start their own businesses. And they're going to do it all from this room. Oh, and I got to build them a bedroom, too. For when they get older, they're not going to want to sleep in the same bed as me or my wife. They're going to want to sleep in their own room. And I know just the place where I'm going to build it. I have to build a room in the basement for the children. Maybe, we're planning to have 2 or 3, so I got to build a bunk bed, I think. So that'll be fun. Wake up. Build a soundproof bedroom in living room of basement area where the kids will live once they get older, and build a bunk bed in there as well. Alright, so there we have it. My kids are going to be next level geniuses. The kids will only be able to socialize with church kids. So we'll take them to church camps, church groups, church Bible studies, playtimes, church events like church hiking trips and church this and that. This way, they'll only be around religious people. They'll never even hear a cuss word until they're like 40. Yeah, I'll pay. Absolutely, I will pay for all of that stuff. I already have a savings fund for that. I think I have like $20 saved. I'm going to pay for all this stuff, absolutely. But you know what? I'm going to have my kids pay for it too, though. They're going to be working, like, they're going to be able to pay their own way. As, like, 12-year-olds, I'm going to have them starting several businesses and online companies. And I'll have them manufacturing and selling products for their own companies. It's not child labor for me. For their own companies and their own names and their own bank accounts. I'm going to make them responsible adults at the age of, like, 10 to 12. And they're going to be graduating college with bachelor's degrees by the age of 15. That's true. I never did get a college degree. Maybe I shouldn't make them get college degrees. You're right. I'll make it optional. But for sure, they got to graduate high school then by the age of like 13 or no, not even. By the age of 12, they got to be graduated from high school. But I feel like my Twitch chat would rather have them get college degrees. I didn't do it, and look where I turned out. Amazing. But maybe society would prefer me to push them toward that. So maybe I will make them get college degrees through distance learning. Just because. But I'm going to talk to them. They're going to be super smart. And if they want to be the next Ken Zuckerberg, who never got a degree, or Bill Gates, and if they have some great companies underway, then I'm not going to force them to get degrees if they want to be entrepreneurs. But if they want to go the employee route, which I will respect, then of course I would encourage them to finish their degree. But I'm going to have it very accelerated if they choose that. So I'm going to let them choose what path they're going to take. But I'm going to push them hard at an accelerated rate all through homeschooling. They're going to go way faster. Like, they're going to finish like 3 or 4 grades per year. Unlike other kids that do 1 grade per year and then they have summer break. My kids aren't going to have any summer break. Yes, but they might not want to be employees. I'm not an employee. They might prefer to be self-employed. And I can reveal to them TaskRabbit and Uber Eats and Uber and Lyft and various distance jobs, remotework.com, and all these places where if you know PHP or you know Python or you know you're a web developer or you could be the head engineer. Like, there's job openings all over the place for jobs where you work from home. And I'm going to get my kids those jobs at the age of like 12 or 11 years old if they want to have a job. But I'm going to make that their choice. I also will show them how to start their own businesses as preteens or even, 10-year-old, 9-year-old. I will have them create businesses. And I'm also going to get them investing in the stock market and teach them how to invest, around 8, 9 years old. They're going to be reading at a college level by then as well. We're skipping I'll have them reading children's books on their own by the age of like 4. We'll have to research to see how smart kids can get how fast, but we're going to go all out. No, I'm not running a daycare. I'm only raising my own children. I'm not raising everybody else's children. I know you guys would love to have genius executives and leaders of titans of industry like my kids are going to be, but you'll just have to follow my example then. I'm not going to raise everyone else's kids. I'm not a teacher for everyone. I'm just a teacher for my own kids. You could have your kids watch my stream and learn as I teach my kids. We could do group learning. You could try to have your kids when I have mine so they can take advantage of the education I give my kids all while streaming. That would be a good plan. Wake up. Train the children in martial arts, including jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, taekwondo. Education, bachelor's degree from distance learning program on computer by age 14. Be right back. Stop listening. Begin bachelor's degree. Progress at age 12, doing a 2-year program. Damn. Stop listening. What is the youngest you can get a bachelor's degree? Wake up. What is the youngest you can get a bachelor's degree? What is the youngest you can get a bachelor's degree? Press return. Stop listening. Okay, this kid at the age of 8 enrolled in University of South Alabama, so... We rush it because this will give them a leg up over everyone else. I regretted that I started becoming an entrepreneur in my late 20s. I want to get them done with school so they can start in business, start making money earlier, and then put that money into the stock market. Let compound interest make them millionaires, and they can retire at the age of 30 if they want. That'll leave them the rest of their life to pursue whatever they want and complete lap of luxury as wealthy, retired individuals, still as young adults. There's a huge advantage in that. Then they could just work for enjoyment. Alright, these kids are enrolling at the age of 10, 11. So yeah, this is totally doable. Why wouldn't my kids be genius prodigies? I am. I'm going to have them pursue their path. I'm going to have them choose a path at a young age and then just knock it out of the park fast. Degrees are worthless, but I'm just going to force them through it really quickly to satisfy society and Twitch chat, since I'm raising my kids and doing all the homeschooling on Twitch chat. And if I tell my kids not to go to school, a large percentage of you will be against it. I don't think you have to go. Only if my kids are very successful as entrepreneurs would I allow them to just skip that part. And we'll just say, sorry, Twitch chat, the kids were adamant they don't want to do college. They don't want to do university. But I'm going to tend toward letting them do it, especially if they ever want to get jobs. But if they're very successful as entrepreneurs, committed to that at a young age, then yes, I'll let them continue on that path and skip the university part. They're not going to be doing university on a campus. They're going to be doing it on a computer from my room. I'm not going to send them off to a dorm to go have sex with a bunch of moralless rebels at the age of 12. They're not doing that. You would send your 12-year-old to go have sex with college students and get herpes? Oh. They're not even going to know anybody that's not religious. I'll prove it.
Translation, drunken orgies with occasional cliff notes. Steve, you're forgetting. I go to college, okay? Translation, drunken orgies with occasional cliff notes.
Happy? Mama didn't raise no fool. Stop listening. I'm not going to fall for that. My children are going to be gentlemen and scholars of the highest caliber, not drunken orgies with occasional cliff notes. That's what the public school system wants. I'm taking them private school. High school degree. Wake up. Wake up. High school degree at age of 12. Bye. Begin home high school at age of 10. Youngest, you can begin online high school. Youngest age, you can begin online high school. Stop listening. That's not true. I'm planning to get all their clothes and food for free. And I don't have to leave my chair because I'm going to raise them in arm's reach. They're going to be in a little playpen on my mattress, which is right next to my chair. So it won't change my lifestyle one bit. And I'm going to homeschool them all from this chair while streaming. And I make more money now than a full-time Applebee's waiter or waitress or cook. And that level of income is going to be increasing year over year. And it has been. In fact, I can pretty much increase it guaranteed anytime I want. But that would take away from more of my project time. Dishwashing won't be an issue. I'll feed them all their food out of aluminum foil. The aluminum foil gets thrown into the trash after. I can make an aluminum foil bowl or cup in seconds. All water comes from bottles, thrown in the garbage as well. No dishes at all. If the economy tanks, I might make less, but so will everybody else. So comparatively, I'll still be making the same. All wealth is relative to everyone else's wealth. I have free free housing. My dad's paid off his house. Cars. And unlimited free food and electric for life. So all the money I make just goes toward my cell phone and car insurance. Helping my wife pay off her old debts. My children aren't going to be suffering at all. Tell me if this sounds like a good childhood to you. Listen to this. They're going to get a bottle, breast pump to fill the bottle, short sleeve shirts times 7 for all ages, long sleeve shirts times 7 for each age, undershirts for each, pants for each, shorts, underwear, socks, and shoes. Whoops, that's too many socks. Shoes. They get a crib, fenced-in area on the bed, motorized baby swing, chest harness, reversible for back or front, 2-seater stroller, baby basket, portable, baby car seat, sheets times 3, blankets times 5. That's a pretty well off baby. In addition to that, they're going to be trained in jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, and taekwondo. They're going to be enrolled in volunteering programs at nursing homes, church nursery, local city volunteering, soup kitchens, Habitat for Humanity type volunteering stuff. They're going to begin high school at age 10 and complete it at age 12. Begin bachelor's degree at age 12, complete it at age 14. I'm still working out the details of how all this is going to work, though. Oh, and art program, wake up, art program for sculpture and painting and musical instrument and digital music making of songs in various genres. church activity groups, age appropriate, to interact with other kids on a weekly basis, their age. Age. Church conferences and camps. Arduino-based projects and robotics projects. Golfing, comma, baseball, comma, basketball, comma, volleyball, comma, badminton, comma, kickball, comma, frisbee, comma, football, comma, tennis, comma, swimming, comma, sprinting, comma, long distance running, comma, biking, comma, snowboarding, comma, skiing, comma, hunting, comma, surfing, comma, soccer, comma, snowball fighting, comma, go-kart, comma, hockey, comma, rollerblading, comma, skateboarding, comma, rock climbing, comma, kayaking, comma, stop listening. So they're going to master every sport. Growing food. Wake up. Growing food with aquaponics gardening. Press P. To assist in cutting costs on food intake. Press Control S. Stop listening. So the kids are going to learn gardening and self-reliance while feeding themselves with their own gardening practices, so that they won't be an excessive burden on my dad or my wife and I in terms of food. So a great percentage of their food they'll make themselves. Wake up. Wake up. Press semicolon. Potatoes, comma, press return. Tomatoes, comma, lettuce, comma, carrots, comma, onions, comma, peppers, comma, beets, comma, cucumbers, comma, hunting wild game and freezing the meat to feed themselves and the family. Stop listening. So my kids will be badass hunters. Wake up. Or if that is illegal, comma, press return. Have them raise fish from home, and rabbits from home, and chickens from home for the meat. Stop listening. There we go. So the kids will be able to feed my wife and I and themselves. They're not playing 5 sports. They're doing golf, baseball, basketball, volleyball, badminton, kickball, frisbee, football, tennis, swimming, sprinting, long distance running, biking, snowboarding, skiing, hunting, surfing, soccer, snowball fighting, go-karting, hockey, rollerblading, skateboarding, rock climbing, kayaking. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. The kids are going to be doing 25 sports and jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, and taekwondo, which is martial arts for self-defense. All while doing schooling at an accelerated rate where they will be bachelor's degree obtainers at the age of 14. Oh, they're going to sleep well, so they won't be up all night playing video games. They're going to be too tired from all this. What am I doing? I'm planning raising my children. Wake up. Supplemental. Press Ctrl C. Paste it. Caps on. Formal homeschool. Paste it. Stop listening. You can grow all this anywhere. It's going to be in an indoor aquaponics garden. It says that, doesn't it? Wake up. Greenhouse or indoor. Press return. Press delete. Press space. Stop listening. Food will be for free. Electric will be free. We're going to make a solar powered house. So we won't be a burden to my dad at all. Everything's free. homeschooled students outperform by 37% across all subjects. That's huge. And that's just the average homeschooler. My kids are going to be outperforming by 100%. When I was 14, I was an 8th grader, straight A student. My teachers considered me to be a prodigy. They said that I'll go on to do amazing things. They said that I was one of the greatest human beings they've ever met. That it was an honor and privilege to have taught me. They were pretty much crying when I left for high school. Even bought me gifts. And they bought no other kids gifts. Just me. Stop listening. I was the best of the best. Still am. My goals were to make my teachers and parents proud and continue to further my education and advance my mind. I read about 40 college level books per year. I wasn't homeschooled. I wish I was. I'm going to be homeschooling my kids. I got indoctrinated while in school with surrounding myself with kids with poor morals, threats of harm, cruel children that were poorly raised. My kids won't have to go through that. They're going to be well raised all the way through. Hands-on, heavily involved parenting. I'm going to give my kids a better childhood than what I had. Kids will develop their social skills with me and with other kids their age through church groups. I'm going to take them to church camps, church classes, Bible studies, different weekly church gatherings for kids, church nursery times. They're going to be engaging with other kids their age in a church setting so they won't suffer moral degradation and religious degradation and false indoctrination. No, that's not true. My kids' comprehensive skills will be through the roof because I'm going to be teaching them 25 different sports, robotics, art, food growing and gardening, um, raising pigs and chickens and fish. I mean rabbits, chickens, and fish for their meat, so we won't have to buy that much food, or my dad won't have to buy it. Uh, they're going to be doing art. They're going to be doing volunteering. They're going to be doing martial arts. And they're going to be um, graduating high school at the age of 12, graduating with a bachelor's degree at the age of 14. So I don't think that's poor comprehensive skills at all. If my child smoked weed, it depends on their age what I would do. If he was still young enough to spank, I'd spank him and ground him. If he was too old to spank, I'd ground him. And take away privileges. Tons of privileges. Yeah, my discipline will give my child instruction in right from wrong, and will encourage development of good morals and good work ethic and stuff like that, and good decision making. If my child came to me with a dead body in the trunk, I would send him straight to jail. I would tell him, do as I say, not as I do. Wake up. Using. Law regarding homeschool. Colon. Press Shift H. Press Shift R. Press Return. Press Return. Press Return. Basically, comma, there is only a compulsory attendance law that says that kids need to be taught, press return, or educated a certain amount per week or whatever. And there is no mandatory legal tests that they need to pass, press return, nor any legal requirement for what subjects are being taught. Press semicolon. All teaching, press return, is up to the parent. Press semicolon. The parent can prepare them for university level or high school level education. Press return. If they feel like it. Or just teach them whatever they feel like. And that's that. Press semicolon. Press return. But if the kids want to be competitive in the job market rather than being an entrepreneur or religious leader, comma, press return, then they will need to get a GED via online high school through an, press return, press delete, accredited high school online education institution that gives D or diploma, press semicolon, press return. And so as long as the kid is ready to take on the high school distance learning program, comma, press return, then he or she can get started on that ASAP, comma, full clear it, comma, and then proceed on to a distance learning bachelor's degree. Press return. That they can do from home and complete by the age of 14. Press semicolon. Press return. At this point, they would be ready to take a master's and doctorate degree online, or just press return. Enter the job market and get jobs, or become entrepreneurs, which they should be already. Press return, regardless of whether they want to be employees, because multiple streams of income is a, press return, wise choice. Benefits of homeschooling studies, press colon. The kids are to read all the classics, colon, press return. Harry Potter, comma, Lord of the Rings, comma, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, comma, The Great Gatsby, comma, press return. Grapes of Wrath, comma, Moby Dick, comma, Don Quixote, comma, Frankenstein, comma, Dracula, comma, the Left Behind series, comma, press return. A Tale of Two Cities, comma, Huckleberry Finn, comma, Tom Sawyer, comma, the Odyssey, comma, the Iliad, comma, the greatest salesman in the world, comma, comma, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, comma, the 5-Hour Work Week, comma, stop listening. Ha! I'm not going to make my kids read Lolita. I just found out about that last week. It's the story of a guy that's a pedophile that kidnaps a girl and kills his parents and takes her on a cross-country rape trip. Goodness, it's a good thing that I am not going to give this list to my children. Oh, let's give them number 5, the book about how to become a pedophile. Crime and Punishment, comma, wake up. Crime and Punishment, comma, The Picture of Dorian Gray, comma, East of Eden, comma, The Count of Monte Cristo, comma, Les Miserables, comma, Pinocchio, comma, To Kill a Mockingbird, comma, The Scarlet Letter, press return, press comma, Lord of the Flies, comma. Charlotte's Web, comma. Of mice and men. Mice. Comma. The Princess Bride, comma. The Secret Garden. Press return. Press comma. A Wrinkle in Time, comma. Walden, comma. How to win friends and influence people, comma. Entrepreneurship, colon. Press return. Basic skills, colon. Sewing, comma. Tailoring, comma. Blacksmithing, comma. 3D printing, comma. Embroidering, comma. Sewing machine. Hand, comma. Press return. Cooking, comma. Cleaning, comma. Automotive repair, comma. Drywalling, comma. Painting, comma. Wallpapering, comma. Laying tile, comma. Press return. Electronics repair, comma. Mowing, comma. Doing dishes, comma. Doing laundry, comma. Waxing a car, comma. Airbrushing, comma. Using, press return, a 3D pen, comma. Hot gluing, comma. Fiberglass and epoxying, comma. Press G. part fabrication, comma, rust repair, comma, plumbing, comma, press return, electrical, comma, woodworking, comma, sanding, comma, paintless dent repair, comma, dent, computer programming, comma, websites, development, press return, comma, logo making, comma, soldering, comma, brazing, comma, welding, comma, tool restoration, comma, using concrete, comma, press return, building an armature, comma, sculpting in clay, comma, press I, press delete. Public presentations, comma, PowerPoint presentations, comma, press return. Essay writing, comma, research papers, comma, blogging, comma, social media page managing, comma, Google and Facebook advertising, press return, comma, running an eBay store, comma, running an Amazon store, comma, running an e-commerce website, comma, press return. Shopping, comma, at a store, shopping online, comma, shopping on eBay, comma, shopping on Amazon, comma, banking, comma, budgeting, comma, press return, saving, comma, money management, comma, investing, comma, taxes, comma, accounting, comma, bookkeeping, comma, payroll, comma, press return, filing, time management, comma, establishing a to-do list, comma, establishing goals, comma, prioritization, press I. And paste it. Planning trips. Press return. Comma. Packing, comma. For trips. Mowing. / weed whacking. / edging. Opening and responsibly using a credit card, comma. Opening and responsibly using a checking account. Press return. Press comma. Drywalling. / mudding. Building a PC, comma. Stain removal, comma. Clothing. Undo. Clothing. Balancing a checkbook, comma. Clocking in work hours, comma. To track one's time usage. Baking, comma. So I think that covers all the basic skills that every child should learn as a bare minimum. Entrepreneurship. Wake up. Wake up. Child is to launch a minimum of 5 companies and run them all. by the age of 8. Child is to have at least 9 sources of income, which can include stock market investments, comma, press return. Real estate investments, comma, savings account interest, comma, YouTube channel, comma, Twitch channel, comma, press return. eBay store, comma, Amazon store, comma, e-commerce websites, comma, etc. Press return. Child must sell multiple products, which can be something like handmade soap, comma, handmade candles, comma, press return. Etsy store, comma, .3D printing services, comma, handmade jewelry, comma, t-shirt printing business, comma, retail arbitrage from Walmart or thrift stores, press return, and selling for a flip, comma, garage sailing and selling for a flip. Comma, service-based businesses could include colon, lawn mowing, comma, .3D printing services, comma, CNC machining services, comma, press return. Custom part fabrication services, comma, website development, comma, YouTube video editing, comma, social media account management, comma, app development, comma, coding, in Python, comma, JavaScript, comma, HTML, comma, Ruby on Rails, comma, PHP, comma, press return, C++, comma, press semicolon. Blogging, comma, article writing, comma, concept art, comma, vinyl decal, sticker making, comma, logo designing, comma, press return. Illustration, wake up, illustration, comma, designing flyers and brochures, comma, packaging design, comma, portraits and caricatures, comma, press return. Photoshop editing, comma, banner ads design, comma. Stop listening. They will have to do remote work. This is part of my education program. Schools will educate kids on history. Okay, what's that going to do them in life? I want to open up their mind and their skills to knowing how to make money if worse comes to worse. I think this is basic skill development. This is no different than kids learning basket weaving in the 1800s. They need to know how to do remote work. This is basic skills. This is part of every child's education. I'm creating a curriculum. They can choose which one they want. I'm covering many different fields. This is all just part of their bare minimum. Learning how to make money, invest the money, learning different career options by testing out different types of remote work and seeing what they're interested in. They can still get a job in doing that specific type of work they were doing later in life, or they could just continue to be an entrepreneur with many sources of income for their life, or they could become a religious leader, but they'll always know how to establish multiple streams of income and manage that money as well. This isn't optional. I am their teacher. I won't pass them if they don't do what I require for the curriculum. Data entry. Wake up. Wake up. Data entry, comma. Virtual assistant, comma. Flyer distribution, comma. Stop listening. Jewelry making will always be profitable because people will always make or want jewelry. The key is to make it from cheap materials. Some people make jewelry out of magazines that were thrown in the garbage, twisting them up and making them into little beads and making necklaces from it. You can make jewelry with free materials and then sell it for cheap, maybe $1 or $2. You're still making profit. How could it never not be profitable? That's ridiculous. Wake up. Proofreading and editing. Press comma. Research and summaries, comma. Transcription, comma. YouTube intros and outros, comma. Press return. Stop listening. Also, I'm not saying they have to do all of these. I'm saying they need to have 4 or 5 different sources of income, or 4 or 5 different companies and 9 sources of income. I correct myself. And they can choose from this huge list, and they can try them all as well, which would be good to expand their skills and knowledge. They don't have to do jewelry making. Wake up. Logo animation, comma. Whiteboard and animated explainers, comma. Slideshows and promo videos, comma. Short video ads. Press return. Press comma. Animated characters and modeling, comma. Product photography, comma. Visual effects, comma. Buy and flip cars, comma. Clean houses, comma. Press return. Detail cars, comma. Shovel snow, comma. Affiliate marketing, comma. Embroidery, comma. Press return. Import from Alibaba and flip on. Press I. Amazon. After branding it, comma. Get free stuff. Stop listening. I was gonna say get free stuff from Craigslist free, and then sell it online, but the kids can't do that at 8 years old. This all has to be stuff they can do as a child, from home in safety. That's why I took out cleaning houses as well, because they can't go into a stranger's house, but they could. Like lots of kids walk the neighborhood block and offer to mow lawns or shovel snow, knock on the door. They're never going inside the house. And I could be with them when they meet people for the first time or whatever and get the job, and then I could monitor them remotely by like calling every 5 minutes or whatever. Oh, they will be doing art. And don't say make them artists. Like, I'm not making them do art as a career. But every kid in public school has to take art classes, so yeah, I'm doing that. That's not bad parenting. That's just a basic curriculum. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's a good idea. Wake up. Wake up. Making paintings and selling them online. Press semicolon. Press return. Sniping on eBay and selling it for a flip. Press semicolon. Stop listening. No, I'm not going to make them dumpster dive because it's too dangerous at that age. Everything has to be monitored and stuff they can do from home without leaving the home. Or stuff they can do just walking on public property, like walking down the sidewalk of a block, walking up their sidewalk, knocking on the door, like all that's legal, door-to-door marketing and stuff. So they can market their services. Hey, I mow lawns. I charge $15 a lawn. Can I mow your lawn? Or hey, I shovel snow. Can I shovel your snow off your driveway this winter? I charge $8 per driveway. Something like that. A small child can learn a lot from that. But I can't have them do things like buying a candy dispenser machine and going to local shops and asking to set it up. Then they collect the quarters and refill the candy. A kid can't do that because the shop owner would say, no, where's your parents or whatever. Even if I'm with them, the kid can't do that. So it has to be things the kid can do from home at a young age. We're talking age of 8 level stuff. I'm not going to narrow the skill set. Wake up. Candy vending machine business. Homemade tea. Wake up. Homemade tea or soup. Drop shipping. Press semicolon. Stop listening. Yes, they will have a mother, but I'm a stay-at-home dad, and this is part of my curriculum I'm building. You wouldn't want your kids to in school learn how to become entrepreneurs? That's actually something that some rich kids going to really good schools are learning, how to start businesses and stuff. Why should I deny my kids from that advanced level of life lessons and training? Homemade fishing lures. Wake up. Homemade fishing lures. Press semicolon. Stop listening. School is not obligatory anywhere in the world. Those laws have been abolished in the late 70s, early 80s. I just read the history of homeschooling on Wikipedia. Wake up. Candy coated pretzels. Press return. Candy coated pretzels. Chocolate and. Selling. Press semicolon. Stop listening. The kid's going to have an extraordinary life. They will have access to other kids, weekly church get-togethers. They're going to have lots of time with their parents, lots of outdoor fun activities. It's not just all school and work. I'm also planning to teach them every sport, all of them, tons of reading, that's just the entrepreneurship category you're focusing on. That's one part of their schooling. I'm going to teach them all the basic skills. I'm going to teach them hunting, growing food, all the sports, basic robotics and electrical engineering, church activities with other kids their age, an art program, volunteering work, martial arts. It's all under education. Doesn't even get into just family fun. We're going to do lots of fun, vacations and stuff. So they'll get to travel and do outdoor activities. A lot of the sports cover that. Rock climbing, hiking, biking, skiing, surfing, everything. They're gonna have very privileged lives. It's gonna be family football, not football for a town or whatever. Just touch football, maybe tackle. I could gently tackle my kids. We'll play as a family. Wake up. Press comma. Press comma. Custom printed shoes service. Stop listening. I'm gonna put my children in cages, but most people call them playpens. I still think of them as cages. Also, cribs. Cribs are cages. They're literally wooden bars. Um, so it's just a terminology thing, but they're not going to be in any different type of containers than any other kids. It's not safe for kids to wander around without supervision throughout the day. So they will be in playpens slash cribs. And yes, I think that a fish tank is a good crib. Not for whole days, but they're going to be with me in my room, and I need to put them in a crib slash playpen while I work, while I keep an eye on them, and they can crawl around in there, and I could put toys in there, and a bottle in there. But I think originally they mostly just sleep all the time, and then eventually they need that kind of stuff. So most of the time they'll just be sleeping there. When they wake up they just cry, and then you have to put them on your chest, and you just hold them on your chest while you work, and then they fall back asleep, and you can feed them with your bottle, and then they'll just like basically chill looking around the room mounted to your chest. And then eventually as they get older they'll want to crawl around a lot more, so you put them in a little playpen. I'm going to make my bed into a playpen. I'll put a fence around it and they can just crawl around on the bed and do whatever. The diet's going to be breast milk from the mother. I'm homeschooling. This is all just a homeschool curriculum. I'm still going to let the child determine what they want to do. Do they want to become an employee? And what kind? Do they want to go to university, and which one? Or do they want to become an entrepreneur, and what kind? Or do they want to become a religious leader? They could choose their path, but I'm going to give them a broad education regardless of what path, which might change their mind also. This is going to get their feet in the door, learn what it's like to work in the real world, learn what it's like to deal with being an entrepreneur, and have all the information. See what they enjoy, see what they're good at, see how they can make the most money. Not just go to school and learn a bunch of random skills, writing papers and stuff. I'm going to teach them all those skills, but at an accelerated level. But I'm going to focus on entrepreneurship and stuff a lot too. And I might have one child that wants to grow up and become a lawyer or something. I might have him do more traditional schooling. But a kid that decides they want to be an entrepreneur, I might have them focus more on entrepreneurship. So I can have them also form their own curriculum based on their interests as well to some degree. The only brainwashing will be religious beliefs and morals. Everything else is going to be broad spectrum, traditional education with the addition of teaching of basic skills, which I think has been lost. A kid should know how to do their own oil change when they grow up. A kid should know how to paint a painting or do laundry. I want to teach kids to have a broad skill set, basic skills. It's not my wife and I decided we're going to have a kid this year, not give birth to, but conceive, get pregnant with this year. So I'm preparing. I'm gathering clothing, I'm gathering a plan, I'm creating a homeschool curriculum, everything. I'm prepared. I'm going to be a good parent. In fact, more than a good parent, I'm going to be the best parent in the history of mankind. That's a fact. I'm the best at everything, so I have to be the best parent too. She wouldn't leave me because she'd be losing the best teacher of all time. You want a teacher that knows how to do everything? That's me. My skills are a longer list than anybody. Unparalleled. So she wouldn't leave me until my kids have milked me for all of my knowledge and skills. You can't find a school system that can provide what I can provide. Schools don't even teach entrepreneurship. I've successfully started dozens of businesses. Press comma. Kids love clowns. Why wouldn't I have my kids read it? My parents sent me to public school, and they told me, go outside, you're annoying. I roamed around the streets of the ghetto and got beat up by African American children. Oh, you're talking about it. I'll just... Oh, so I gotta take it off then. I didn't know there's a gang... What the heck? No, I don't want the kids to read that then. It. Wake up. It. Stop listening. I knew Stephen King was a pervert, but his books are so good. I gotta find one that's not perverted. I wish I could get a clean version of books that aren't clean. Just like you can type in like a name of a rap song and type open parentheses clean close parentheses, and you can get a clean version of the song. Like this. Roy Jones Jr. clean.
Man. I got this, yeah.
There's no cussing.
Loose. Don't call my hand, cause you gon' make me act a hot damn fool. Dead discussion. You will not win, cause I will not lose.
Mr. Money Mustache blog. I'm creating the reading list for my child's school curriculum. Required reading. I'm homeschooling. My children are going to graduate from college homeschooled by the age of 14 with a bachelor's degree. My wife is supportive of homeschooling, yes. She agreed to it already. Stop listening. My wife's only concern was that our kids would be antisocial or socially awkward based on not going to public school. So I told her that I agreed to involve our kids in church activity groups on a weekly and monthly basis. Church camps, church activity groups, being with other church kids. So they won't be getting bad habits, learning cuss words and stuff like that, like a public school kid would who's raised right. They're going to be learning a lot of bad stuff from the poorly raised kids. The assumption is that the church kids will be well raised like ours, and then will interact with kids their own age. But that having been said, my wife did not read about the study that showed that according to a Smithsonian report on the development of genius, there is a requirement for time spent with warm, responsive parents and other adults, and very little time spent with peers. A great deal of freedom to explore under parental guidance. More of home and less of formal school. More exploration with parents. Fewer limits of classroom and books. More old-fashioned chores. Children working with parents, and less attention to rivalry, sports, and amusement. So this idea that my wife's afraid of the kids being around adults, not being around kids their age too much, is actually unfounded. That's going to lead them to becoming geniuses, like their father. Robot's coming well. No, I am going to indoctrinate my kids with my religious beliefs. That's out of the question to not do that. I will be doing that. That's a fact. Fact. Wake up. Heavy religious training and indoctrination sessions. Heavy. I'm a genius. The printer will be fixed before the kid's born. That's guaranteed. Your kids can try to knock my kid's head open, but I'm going to be teaching my kids jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, and taekwondo, so good luck with that. They're also going to be talented athletes with over 25 sports they've mastered. That's a lie. Everybody got beat by the jiu-jitsu guy, John Gracie or whatever. Everybody in MMA. Every single discipline, wrestlers, everybody came in, and this guy whooped them all. Jiu-jitsu is the #1 most powerful tool there is for fighting. That's where you pin people and you get them in these holds where you can break their arm or choke them out. You're all about preventing getting pinned and pinning. You take people to the ground and that's your ground game. Almost all of MMA is ground game. Stand-up stuff might look fancy, you might see knockouts, but the true masters of fighting take you to the ground and end you. My kids will learn jiu-jitsu. That's the best one there is. If you've ever watched the history of MMA, mixed martial arts, it's got every martial art specialty there is, and guess who wins? Jiu-jitsu. I'd be willing to trade taekwondo for Muay Thai or kickboxing. I just thought taekwondo is like a really deadly, really powerful thing. My child, girl or boy, will have a proficient level of skill in all of these different sports. So I will work with them until they're skilled at the sport. Until you can say they've skilled it, they've mastered it to a level, to an extent. So for example, golfing. Do they need to be a scratch golfer? No, they're not going to get par in every hole. But they better be able to get the occasional par and once in a while a birdie. Then I'll say, okay, you've quote-unquote mastered golf. And I'm going to make them master every sport to a basic level of proficiency just to expand their skill level. Eye-hand coordination and everything, and learn about all these different things that are available in the world that they may want to come back to later. So I'm going to give them, oh, you know what? Dancing should be on here. Wake up. Wake up. Press comma. Press space. Dancing. Stop listening. Their competition will be me, their mother, and their brothers and sisters. And they'll be playing a lot of these sports throughout life with girlfriends, boyfriends, or whatever. They'll be playing sports with their friends as they grow up in later years. Sports just come up, and I want them to have a basic skill set in these things. Now, if they want to take the sports to a professional level, that's on them. If they want to become Olympic athletes and focus on a sport, that's on them. I'm letting them choose their own path. But I just want to provide them with a broad education. And now, most of these things I wrote down are offered in PE, physical education class in public schooling. If I'm going to be a private school teacher of my own children, a homeschool teacher, it's my responsibility to give them physical education. So they need to learn all the different sports. In PE class and gym class as a kid, you do learn kickball, you do learn frisbee, you learn all this stuff, most of it. They might not cover all of it. I'm going to be more thorough. I'm going to do a better job than public schools. I'm going to teach them all of these. I made a comprehensive list. They wouldn't have to take a fight to the ground on the streets necessarily. They're also going to have boxing and taekwondo if they are facing multiple opponents who aren't that skilled. But if they face somebody who knows boxing or wrestling, they'll have jiu-jitsu as a way for one-on-one to beat an opponent of a higher skill level at a certain other martial art. I've seen fights go to the ground many times on the streets. Also, they'll be able to compete against me. I myself am a supreme level athlete, world class. I was an all-star at every sport. I was all conference, all American. Before I moved to China, I was all Chinese. I dominated in every sport. My best score in golf? Oh, wake up. Press comma. Bowling. Stop listening. My best score in long distance running the mile was 5:52. I was all state in cross country. I represented my school with two other students at a state cross country meet. Out of every student in the school, I was one of 2 or 3 selected. And that was a school of like 300 people. Baseball, I was an all-star, starting pitcher, starting first baseman, cleanup batter. Golfing, my best score was a 72, which is full member of a country club. I'd be on the low end of that at that score level. These guys golf multiple times a week for years and years and years. I'd be on that level, among the best of those. Basketball, I could beat 20 guys in a game of 21. I was dominant. We're talking black guys who can dunk, who played basketball their whole lives. I could beat them with ease. I was a great three-point shooter, fadeaway shooter, driving to the hole, everything, crossovers, behind the back, you name it. Volleyball, spiking king, serving king. Phenomenal volleyball player, played competitively. Frisbee, dominant, excellent at frisbee. Playing catch with frisbee into wind. I could even throw a frisbee back to myself. Football, all conference, all state, starter. Started even over kids a year older than me at a 5A school with a top ranked team in the state. Swimming I never did competitively, but I'm an excellent swimmer. I can also swim for 10 hours straight without cramping. I can swim long distances without flotation. I also am really good at whitewater swimming in whitewater raging rivers, defensive swimming tactics. I'm an excellent biker. I can bike no-handed for miles without cheating. No hands allowed. Snowboarding, I've only done it once and I already mastered it. I can go forward, backwards, and sideways. Hunting I haven't done yet. Skiing I haven't done yet. Surfing I haven't done yet. Soccer, I'm dominant against people that have been playing soccer their whole life, and I've never even played competitively. Snowball fighting, I can bust you in the face so hard, give you a bloody nose. Go-karting, beast. Hockey, I was always very good. Rollerblading, phenomenal. I can go backwards, forward, sideways, one-footed. Skateboarding, haven't really done it. Rock climbing, beast mode. I've only done it once and I already dominate. Kayaking, I'm world-class, class 5 kayaker, do the most dangerous rivers in the world. Dancing, phenomenal. Bowling, my best score was like a 130, so really good, but not league level. Well, I'd be like average for bowling league, but that's just me bowling like once a year. My kids will learn to shoot guns. I'm going to teach them how to hunt wild game. Will the kids be sparring? Yes. I'm not going to teach them twerking. I just explained how I mastered all these. Martial arts is not under my sports and PE section, but I think it should be taught, but I think they're just worried of people getting hurt in school. They don't want people starting fight clubs after school. That's why they don't teach martial arts, but I will. Cannot see my wife. The robot project's not over. I'll be having the kids help me with the robot. See, robotics projects, they're going to help me. Yes, all my kids are going to get the same plan overall, but they get to specialize and choose their path in life. I'm not going to force them to become something I want them to become. I will let them choose anything. They can be a musician, artist, singer, entrepreneur, although some of those can be entrepreneurship actually. But I'm going to teach them all a broad course of life skills, mandatory. I disagree. Black guys are overall better at basketball than everybody else. Look at the NBA. It's mostly black guys. There's a reason for that. It's part of their culture, and they have longer Achilles tendons, so they have more jumping ability. And they're quicker. Basketball is dominated by black men. That's a fact. If you don't believe that, you're a racist. It's not racist either to say something that's a compliment to a race. It's racist to say demeaning things. And I will say something racist right now, though. Asians generally suck at basketball. Boom, I said it. Black guys who can dunk is much different than saying black guys who cannot dunk. Black guys who can dunk implies they're tall, and they're very athletic, and they're very skilled. It takes skill to dunk. It also means they have big hands. Otherwise, you guys might think I'm talking about black kids that are in 5th grade. We're talking about grown men. I could beat them in basketball. Now, I don't know if I can now. I retired. I'm 54 years old. I'm past my prime. Minimum of 3. Wake up. Minimum of 3. Stop listening. Alright, they're going to learn at least 3 musical instruments. Now don't say that's like bad homeschooling, because public schools have music class. That's mandatory. And they teach you different instruments in music class. I played the recorder and the flute, and I learned guitar, and I learned piano. And I'm really good at a kazoo. I'm not going to be your dad. Well, my kids have perfect pitch. Fine. Wake up. Voice lessons to learn to sing in perfect pitch. Stop listening. You're right, I was irresponsible to leave that out. And that's why I have Twitch chat, to make sure that I'm a good teacher. I went to a private high school that taught religion. It was mandatory. Religion class was mandatory. I love the sounds of squeaking on the basketball court, because I dominated the basketball court. My kids will learn go-karts. It's right here, go-karting. We're going to make our own go-karts, too. Wake up. Homemade. Stop listening. They're not going to be spoiled. That's why we're making our own go-karts. Reconsider what decision? I would support my son being a ballet dancer. Believe me, I'm forcing my religion on my children. I don't want them to go to hell. If you believed in heaven and hell, you would do the same. Oh, they don't get to DJ at clubs. Stop listening. They'll only get to DJ for YouTube. No, kazoo is a real instrument, and I'm a beast at kazoo. Retardedly good. You're trying to indoctrinate other people with your atheism, when you yourself know that God exists. Everyone knows it. Atheists just choose to deny God exists, just like a kid could say, I don't have a dad, because they hate their dad. It's the same thing. God's our dad. He's our heavenly Father. You choose to deny the existence of your heavenly Father at your own peril. I will not hide the existence of our heavenly Father, all of us, from my children. Doing such would be a real crime. Oh, I love this one. I just read this last year with a 5-year-old. you can't prove God exists any more than the universe existing and intelligent creation being evident through everything around us. If you can't see that, then you're just lying to yourself. Oh. Wake up. I believe that God created... Stop listening. God created natural selection, and it's a great idea. Stop listening. I believe in evolution to a point. I don't believe we evolved from single-cell organisms. That's taking it billions of years. I believe God created everything, and evolution has built upon it, and that was intentional by God. Are you kidding me? Schools control children's reading material for sure. Schools can't have books like Lolita about a pedophile kidnapping some child and taking them on a cross-country trip, raping them. Of course a teacher has to control their children's reading content. You really think a public school could hand out Playboys as reading material for the kids? Once the kids have a grounding in religious doctrination and morals, they can then explore other concepts and other religions as adults with good critical thinking and the ability to weigh all the facts and all of their training. And they may decide not to be a Christian. I would be disappointed, but I'm not forcing anything, I'm only teaching. I am forcing them to be taught, though. A teacher can't let the student not learn. My house, my rules. Well, not my house, my rules. My homeschooling program, my rules. I'm living in my dad's house. They'll be baptized if they become saved, and that's their own personal decision. I don't believe in baptizing somebody that might hate God. We might dedicate our baby, but that's not the same as baptism. Henner objected to esports being a part of the curriculum. And the fish tank has to have holes in it for oxygen. She thinks that they're not going to get enough oxygen even with an open-lidded fish tank, which I think is ridiculous. So I have to make holes in it. This girl started reading at the age of 8 months old. Stop listening. Alright guys, I spent the whole day doing baby planning. Stop listening. So, I gotta call it here. We finished though. The whole homeschooling plan is done. The entire list of everything I'll need to raise the baby is done. We're in business, boys. Oh! And I have to build them aluminum outfits to wear so that they'll be protected from electromagnetism and radio waves, which are probably in abundance in this room. So they're going to look like little robots with metal outfits over their clothes. I'm going to make them Bender from Futurama outfits, or the Tin Man on, what's it called? Alice in Wonderland? No. What is that stupid thing? The Tin Man, the Lion, the Scarecrow, Dorothy, the Wizard of Oz. I have to make the kids the Tin Man Wizard of Oz clothing so that they're safe from electromagnetic radiation. No, she said she doesn't feel safe them being around so many electronics due to the radiation. I told her that they would be safe from radiation if I made them Faraday cage style clothing involving aluminum. And so that's what I have to do in order for them to be in my room 24/7. Which I'm all for, because that will make the kids even look funnier, improving my stream views. People will think I've really lost it. Little tin men wearing aluminum hats, they're going to be thinking like, this guy is really a weird father. But that's partly the wife being weird. I don't get all the credit for that one. I wasn't concerned about electric radiation. She is. I told her that all the devices in this room are EMI compliant. And she said that she doesn't trust EMI compliance tests. So now she thinks she's a scientist. She thinks that she would make better EMI compliance tests. Yes, you can absolutely have a child graduate with a bachelor's degree at the age of 14. In fact, there's a whole list of kids that did it even earlier. So that's a conservative age for a genius child that's going to be educated by a true genius and one of the greatest teachers of mankind. That's the least you can do. Let's see here. 10 youngest college students of all time. Michael Kearney, bachelor's degree by age of 10. Moshe Kai Calvin enrolled in college at East Los Angeles College at 8. Ellie Sabur, reading when she was only 8 months old, went straight from 4th grade into a degree program at Stony Brook University when she was 10 years old. Adragan de Mello, bachelor's degree in computational mathematics at University of California, Santa Cruz, only 11 years old. Calgary Smith, 14 months, he was already reading books, enrolled at Randolph-Macon College at the age of 10. Colin Carlson, reading books on his own at age 2, taking college-level classes at UConn, where he was a mere 9 years old, officially enrolled at the university at age 11, after graduating from Stanford University Online High School. Akrit Jaswal, admitted to college at only 11 years old, performed his first surgery at the age of 7. Kathleen Holtz started college at California State, Los Angeles at age 10. Sho Yono was ready to enter college by age 8, dominating his SATs with a score of 1500 out of 1600. By age 9, Yano was taking university-level courses at Loyola University, Chicago. By 12, he had graduated and was on the medical scientist training program at the University of Chicago to work on his MD and PhD in molecular genetics and cell biology. Tathgat Avatar Tulsi completed high school at age of 9, earned his BS at 10, and a MS at 12 from Patna Science College. All those children are retards compared to me, so my kids are going to be way smarter than that, and they'll be able to get done for sure by age 14. I'm not pushing them to go even faster than that because I'm not trying to show off or anything with my kids. I want them to be humble. Like me. I don't have kids, but my wife and I agreed that this year we're going to try to get her pregnant around the middle of the year. So I'm going to lose my virginity. How am I going to screw my kid's life up? He's going to be required to start a minimum of 5 businesses and have a minimum of 9 sources of income by the age of 8. That's a huge heads up. He's going to have at least $100,000 in savings by the age of 14. At least. Otherwise, I'll disown him. If by the age of 14 you have $100,000 in savings and you invest it, by the age of 30 you'll probably have $1 million. Easily. He'll be able to retire probably by the age of 25. He can do whatever he wants at that point. I'll have set him on a course where nothing can go wrong. My kids are going to be extreme geniuses because I'm an extreme genius. Plus, it all comes down to teaching. You got to teach the kids fast and hard. You never let them play. You never let them do anything but homework and reading. Or they could work on the robot with me to take breaks. So that's going to be their downtime. It's working on robotics. One of the most advanced robotics projects in the history of mankind. That's going to be what they do instead of sucking on their thumb and crying. These kids are going to be next level. The kids are going to be sitting in the same rubbish dump as me, but I don't consider it to be a rubbish dump. I'm only using your own language to describe my workshop, my kitchen, my laboratory, my bathroom, my bedroom, etc. And it's now going to be my classroom as well. I'm going to build a bunk bed above my bed so the kids can sleep above my bed. If they don't do what I say, they're going to get no ice cream. So they're going to be ice creamless kids if what you say is true. Can you imagine living your life without ice cream? I don't think the kids would be willing to go through that. What do you mean am I sane? Just because I want to drive my children to greatness? And the best part is, I'm not going to push them to do anything they don't want to do. This is just my educational curriculum and my pacing of my teaching. Which is completely up to the homeschooling parent, how they want to do it. I will lead them into a path for success that they choose. If they want to be a professional artist, my full support. Professional singer, musician, my full support. Professional athlete, my full support. I'm not going to push my vision for what they're going to do on them. I will give them full autonomy, and I'm going to teach them how to become very independent. I'm going to make them like full-grown adults at the age of 3.
Great question.
I hope that they will be reading at least at a 6th grade level by the age of 2. And of course I'm not excited. I'm a man of science. I'm only going to lose my virginity for the purpose of producing offspring who will be gentlemen and scholars like myself, of the highest caliber.
So we're gonna...
If they have a disability, the plans don't change, but maybe the speed with which they can progress through these plans will be slower. I'm still going to do it all. In fact, part of my curriculum is going to include entrepreneurial required activities, starting a minimum of 5 different businesses. But if they are mentally handicapped, those businesses I'll have be easier ones that they can handle. So maybe instead of creating a drone selling business where they make and sell drones for clients, maybe instead of that, or instead of being an article writer for a technology magazine or something, whatever they choose, instead of that, maybe they would choose making handmade jewelry or making soap. So there are easier ways, or mowing lawns, shoveling driveways. And in fact, if a mentally handicapped kid shows up at somebody's front door explaining that he wants to be a contributing member to society and he wants to learn good work ethic, and he's not capable of really complicated stuff, but he can mow lawns and shovel driveways, and he wants to do that so that he can learn to work hard and make some money. I think people would be very touched by that, and the mental handicapped autistic face or Down syndrome face, because people with Down syndrome have a certain face structure, you can tell, will make people feel pity, and they will give him the job. So that will actually be an asset going forward for getting certain menial jobs, getting their foot in the door. So I'll teach them to play to their strengths. If life serves you lemons, you make lemonade. So I will have my severe Down syndrome children become excellent entrepreneurs and still be well read. And they'll be as smart as a Down syndrome child can be. Who knows, maybe they'll become Down geniuses. I'm not going to ruin their life. You're just needing to open your mind to my unbelievable, incredible, jaw-dropping homeschooling plans. Now, if my child turns out to be a vegetable, and they have no brain, then in that case, I'll still love them and do the best I can. I'll treat them just like I would a flower. So they'll have a nice vase or bed to sit in, and plenty of sunlight and water and food, and I can still talk nicely to them even though they probably don't understand it. Same way you can talk to your plants. And you just feed them, and it's actually a lot easier to parent a vegetable because it takes about the same effort as raising a plant or a flower. And if your child is a vegetable, you should give them a vegetable or flower-like name. So if it's a girl, you can name her Rose. If it's a boy, you can name him Daffodil. Man, my wife's awesome. She looked through my whole curriculum and agreed with everything, except she said it needs more of an emphasis on religious training. And she wanted me to remove from the curriculum in the sports education department. Somebody said I should include esports. So I did include League of Legends and Counter-Strike, which would be part of their curriculum. They would have to become competent players at 2 games that are top games in the FPS category and in the strategic top-down role-playing category. Or actually, I don't know what that type of game is called. But she didn't like that. She said, I don't want the kids to get hooked on video games, and there's violence in that, and wizards and stuff, and I just don't agree with it. And so I told her, I think it's important for kids to have some basic video game skills and be introduced to games. Because what if they would want to be a video game developer as their career? You gotta let kids play some games, for crying out loud. So we came to a compromise. That's what a couple does. You gotta compromise. So I convinced her to allow me to keep it on the list, provided that, in parentheses, I wrote down that this would not be a part of their official curriculum, but it would be a part of family fun time outside of class. And then with that, she was able to agree to it. No, she wasn't completely against video games. She said I could include video games. Again, not as part of the curriculum. As long as it was a game like Mario Kart. But I don't want my kids to be good at Mario Kart. I want my kids to be good at Counter-Strike. Mario Kart is for sissies.